Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. The other day, Keke Palmer was doing an interview, and while she was talking, she shared her thoughts on successful women dating men who earn less, emphasizing that love is love. And while she was explaining why there's no problem with a well-to-do successful woman dating a man who earns much less than her, she brought up Oprah Winfrey and her longtime partner Stedman Graham as an example, expressing frustration over the negativity Oprah once faced because she chose to date and love a man that was not in her same income bracket.
Nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge.
No, I live for Stedman, but you know that Stedman has for many decades been the butt of jokes.
Yeah, because of gender rules.
Yes.
People feel like because she's Oprah Winfrey, who did y'all want her to be with, Barack Obama? That doesn't make sense, guys. I mean, I feel like that's the weird thing about powerful women, what we're left with. Mm-hmm. So I'm supposed to find love, but he's got to have a certain amount of money, but at the same time, I got to still be like... Guys, what's going on here? Why am I... Nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge. No one cares.
No one
cares. And I frankly don't care if that's who you love, that's who you love. Why do we have to deal with that?
Yes.
That to me makes no sense. I ain't never... Look, my daddy told me a man needs to treat you right. Mm-hmm. He needs to handle and service you in whatever way you need service. Let me tell you one thing that Keke don't need.
Money.
From nobody. Now, if you want to give a little something and get my nails done, something cute,
but
I'm
shouldn't
fine
they
with
do
it.
that? But shouldn't they make that effort?
Yeah.
But
you might still look like Stedman to the world, and that's a great role.
Because
if I was married to Oprah Winfrey,
right, you just be sitting up there waiting,
chilling.
Yeah,
and Stedman, by the way, Stedman's esteemed.
Yeah,
Stedman has a whole career. He's just like Oprah.
Yeah.
So the fact that how dare people compare you to your lover?
Yeah.
I hate that Oprah had to endure that.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate that she had to endure that.
It's
and I
true.
hate that Stedman had to endure that. And that's why I said what I said, because you had a good role. Mm-hmm. You were supposed to be my Stedman.
Yes.
Come on.
He was.
When I played that for my dad said, yeah, because why did he want to be Stedman?
Now, after Keke Palmer said what she said, a whole lot of people came in the comment section, and one person said, Keke Palmer seems to be the only celebrity that never loses track of reality. And then somebody else was like, it's good until he feels inadequate and emasculated. And then, last but not least, somebody else came through and said, Keke's defending her baby daddy. Don't let her send y'all off. Alright, so here's my thing. I find that a lot of men and women, when they're talking about relationships, spend too much time thinking about money. See, Oprah found what was good for Oprah, and you need to find what's good for you. And sometimes, one size doesn't fit all. For example, you may need a man who makes much more money than you because that's what makes you feel secure. However, for somebody else, that might not even enter into the equation because their needs and wants may be different than your needs and wants. And for everybody out there who's like, yeah, Oprah should have got her a Barack Obama, do you guys not understand that even if Oprah Winfrey got with the Barack Obama, he would still be making much less money than her because him and Michelle's combined net worth is about $70 billion, whereas on her own, Oprah Winfrey is worth $3.15 billion. So she's not gonna find a man who's making the same amount of money as her. I mean, yeah, she could have got with somebody like Elon Musk, but who wants to roll over and see that robot laying in the bed next to him? See, what people need to understand is that when you're looking for a partner, you're not looking for the bag. What you're looking for is the entire package. And sometimes that package doesn't come with a bigger check, but instead they balance out the relationship account in other areas. Now, really quick, let's look at somebody who went for the money. Porsha Williams went for the money. She saw Simon Gabbana, or whatever his name is, and she saw the Maybach, she saw the big house, and she basically ignored every red flag that came with this ninja. And now, he's over there hemmed up by ICE, and she's sitting down talking about at one point, she was thinking about switching teams and dating women.
It's lonely. I can't connect with other men. You know, it's like people trying to introduce me, but it's just when it's not the same, it's not the same. So I'm going to do it different this time. I'm going to be alone until I'm whole. And then when I'm whole, then I will, open myself back up so I don't make the same mistake again. When you go through a bad enough breakup, you're like, I don't like nobody. Like, you're like, I don't like nobody. I was sitting there, I was like, do I like women enough? Can I get with a woman? Like, who can come in and fill this void? Like, oh my God, somebody. I have got to be able to sit with someone and feel a part of what I felt with him. But I don't yet. It'll come. It'll come. But I'm like, you know, and I think that now that I'm realizing that, because what I've decided is that I'm not going to look for it anymore. So I'm not going to like push myself into dating or anyone or trying to figure out, you know, who do I like? Who could I be around? Because this is probably also part of healing. I mean, just sitting with this, sitting with being alone, sitting with the loss, and let myself heal the loss. And I know I'm crying right now, but I feel good every day. Each day I get better. Each day I feel stronger. But I ain't gonna lie, it's hard. It's hard living lonely when you know you have to live lonely for a while.
Ooh, boo-hoo, poor baby. Let me tell you something. This chick went for the money, and now she's sitting over there paying child support for his kids. And as far as this whole woes me, I need somebody to fill a void, even if it's a woman. Oh my goodness. Let me explain something. When you enter into a relationship, you're supposed to enter into that relationship as a whole circle, a whole person. And then when you two link up, you two are supposed to create a union that's full of infinite possibility. And the reason why some people like Porsha Williams can't find what they want is because they don't know what they want. If you're going to sit there and tell me that because your man messed up, you thought about going to a woman, then you're all over the place and you definitely don't know what you want. And that's part of the problem. Listen, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button while I tell you about somebody who definitely does know what they want. The other day, streamer Brooklyn Frost said that she's bored with this Iranian-US-Israeli war because low-key, she wants to see some action. She wants to see some planes going down.
But they cancel all flights because of that shit. I wonder, like, what's going on? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, pray, but I'm not gonna lie, like, I low-key did want to see some action on the plane, though. Like, I didn't want no action to be, like, coming towards me or nothing, but, like, you know, just maybe see something in the air. I don't know.
And this is the exact reason why some people in other countries really don't like Americans, because some Americans say dumb-ish like this. Let me be clear. War is not entertainment. War is real. And every time one of those planes go up and some of those bombs drop down, people, real people, get wiped off the face of the earth. See, what this young sister needs to understand is that this is not Roblox, this is not Fortnite, and this is not Minecraft. This is real life, and people are being unalived every day. And every time Israel, Iran, and America decides to send up a plane or deploy a weapon of mass destruction, there are dire consequences, not for the politicians that are giving the orders, but for the citizens and soldiers of each country who are at risk of losing their lives. I mean, really, how disconnected and desensitized can you be? War is no joke, and although most of us have the luxury of being far removed from the combat, every missile launched is a threat that could annihilate somebody's mother, father, brother, sister, or child. So, instead of low-key wanting to see some action and see some bombs hit their targets, you should be over there praying that Netanyahu, the Ayatollah, and Donald Trump find a path to diplomacy. See, one of the problems is, a lot of these young streamers like this chick weren't around for 9/11, so they don't understand that what goes on over there can easily come over here. So no, this isn't a fairy tale that's taking place in a land far, far away. And for everybody out there who finds war to be so entertaining, you need to realize that every decision made by Israel and Iran can easily make a hop, skip, and a jump over the Atlantic and personally affect your behind over here, because 9/11 can easily become 6/26. Now, what Donald Trump, the Ayatollah, and Netanyahu really need to do is take a page out of Brandy and Monica's book, because Brandy and Monica have announced that all of that beef that they used to have back in the day is a thing of the past, and now they're going to move forward as friends.
You know, there was this kind of rumored feud between the two of you that you really said was created by the industry,
Absolutely.
right? But you didn't actually know each other until more recently. How have you connected? You said you didn't used to talk, now you do. Or is it phone calls? Do you guys do things together?
It's phone calls, it's
all
text
of it.
messages, it's telling each other all of our business, which is amazing because her story is amazing, and I just
My
love
story is like a Lifetime movie, right?
Yes, it is.
It's a full movie.
That is possible, Monica.
It is a
Yes.
full, it's a movie. But I felt like the relationship was so important because I really feel you have to be on the same page all the time. So I was championing for other people to stay out while we worked amongst each other just to build relationship. So it makes it easy now. When there's a decision to be made, it's a phone call. When
I just follow her lead.
No, I always, no.
In a good way.
I just think that it's important for us to have that. And so that leaves no room for there to be an interception by someone else. You know, no matter what you say now, we know what it is. And, you know, for us, we did allow other people's feelings to become a real thing. And that real thing became very dangerous and uncomfortable. So we're honest. We're open, we're transparent about it all, but where we are now and where we were then are two different things. You know, when we did Versus, we were just kind of slapped in each other's faces after about 8 years, and you can feel the difference. So the reality is that all those things were great, but this moment, it superseded my expectations, because when we're working on things, it's constant. Is this okay? Do you like this? Do you like this font? Do you like, I mean,
So how often do you guys talk?
Like every other day.
On the phone?
Every other day on the phone.
Wow.
She's in LA and I'm in Atlanta.
Right.
Yes.
So
That's beautiful.
Yes.
This is beautiful.
Okay, so it's crazy to say because it feels like it just happened yesterday, but The Boy Is Mine dropped in 1998, and for the first time in years, Brandy and Monica have decided to team up once again and go on tour together. I gotta tell you, I'm happy to see this, and I'm also happy to see that Brandy and Monica have become friends, because ever since they both stepped into the business, people have always tried to pit them against one another, and after they dropped the song That Boy Is Mine, people really started to pit them against one another, because people used to act like you can't have two black women around the same age who do the same thing in the same business. I mean, it's crazy. Anyhow, I'm really happy to see that these two are ignoring all of the white noise and they're actually forging a great friendship. But you know what? It really shouldn't come as a surprise, because ever since these two were very young girls stepping into the spotlight, they've always been very classy. I mean, they're class acts. I mean, yeah, they've had a little drama in their personal lives, but all in all, these two have always been very bougetto. And when speaking about these two finally coming together, Just Daft B83 on social media said, "I know Whitney Houston's smiling down on her girls. They've both grown so much to finally get to this point. It's finally time." Yes, I definitely agree, because when God is giving you a gift like he's given Monica and Brandy, I mean, y'all don't got no time to be beefing. Y'all got to get out there and share the gift.
It's been too long. I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I know it's out there beyond sight. It's been a long time coming. But I know a change is gonna come.
Now, two people who may not be able to forge a great friendship are Nas and Jim Jones, because for some reason, after all of these years, Jim Jones cannot find it in his heart to admit that Nas is a better rapper than him. Watch this.
Ask you a question, Jim. You smoke, right?
Yeah.
Were you smoking when you said you better than Nas?
I might have been a little bit. Well, as far as let's get this right. I'm way more influential than Nas, and I don't care what nobody say. I know I made a little boo-boo when we talk about the sales and all this type of shit. I don't feel like getting into that rhetoric about where I started and where he started.
Well, you said that
but listen, Nas was nice when I was in high school. When I was in 10th grade, Nas came out. Nas was dope. We appreciated him. He had a little bit run. But Nas always came up second to Jay and DMX and all these other people. Like,
ain't no shame in that. There's a lot of folks came up second to Tom Brady.
He never had that type of influence on us, except for his first album. I already told you, I used to want to dress like Nas because he had a lot of fresh clothes that the hustlers used to wear. And we used to see him on TV. He had one of the illest albums of all time. And then in high school when he had the barbecue and shit like that. So I'm a real fan of Nas, but he kind of lost me after the movie Belly and shit like that. Like, I don't.
Man, go ahead on with that, Jim.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm being honest. You ask me, I'm being a fan. I'm telling you, the movie Belly was fire, but after that, he kind of lost me. I think we was way too much into the game. Remember how this goes. You ever heard of a Kofi list?
Yeah.
Yo, go back into your history and find out what happened between us and him. You dig? And I'm not trying to repeat history, but don't play with us when it comes to that, bro. We already went wild on them boys. You heard? We the ones that went wild on them boys. You heard?
Hey, Jim.
And people out here acting like I said I'm gonna bring the Kofi list back. I just told you I'm gonna change man. Step for the law. Key, you dig?
Nah, look. I'm putting it like this, Jim. Hey, bro, you been in this thing, but lyrically, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you.
Yeah,
y'all
but look how you dress. Look how you dress. You don't even be in the same places I be in.
I can be in the church house. You can't emphasize lyrics. I don't know who told you that. Now look, I know you on that good stuff, but you're not seeing Nas.
Bro,
you're not seeing Nas, bro. Let's be real.
You got a bunch of 40 and 50-year-olds in their panties because I said I'm better than Nas.
It don't matter.
Look at you.
Okay, so let me see how I can put this. What Jim Jones needs to understand is that in his prime, on his best day, Jim Jones wasn't better than Nas on his worst day. I mean, these two weren't even in the same stratosphere, so for him to be even putting himself in the same sentence with Nas is crazy. Now, if Jim Jones wants to compare himself to like Nori and Cameron, that's a whole different story, but he's definitely not on par with Nas. Now I get it. In order to be a rapper, you gotta have a healthy ego to maintain in the industry. However, what Jim Jones needs to understand is you also have to live in reality. And the reality is that between 1994 and the early 2000s, Nas was like the Moet of rap, whereas Jim Jones was like the St. Ides or the Coke 45. Listen, let me know down below. Do you agree with Jim Jones when he says when it comes to rap, he was more influential than Nas? And since we're speaking about influential rappers, the other day Drake popped up out of nowhere and made a post in which he said that over the last month, he has lost over $8 million gambling. Drake wrote, "Gotta share the other side of gambling. Losses are so fried right now. I hope I can post a big win for y'all soon, because I'm the only one that has never seen a max. These guys max once a week." I think that instead of posting stuff on Instagram, what Drake needs to do is get himself into rehab, because I'm sorry, there is nothing cute about losing $8 million in a month betting on a basketball team, because Drake also revealed that he bet $800,000 on the Oklahoma City Thunder to win Game 6 in the NBA Finals. I'm sorry, but in order for a person to risk $8 million in 1 month on a basketball going through a little round hole with a net, that means you don't respect money. Now, I'm not against gambling. If you want to go to the bodega, get yourself a scratch-off ticket, take out a quarter and scratch away, that's on you. But $8 million in 1 month, I mean, that right there is, you got psychological issues territory, and you need to go get yourself a psychologist because you're just throwing money away. Listen, some of these celebrities are so out of touch, it's ridiculous. For example, yesterday, right before they finished presenting their case against P. Diddy, the prosecutor shared the fact that one time, Diddy called the escort service that he was using to complain about the fact that the escort that they sent to his house wasn't able to get his flagpole up. And the escort service told Diddy that maybe the reason why the escort wasn't able to get the flagpole up is because that's not his job. His job is to come over and offer time and companionship, not sex. I mean, is Diddy crazy? That's like me robbing a bank and then going to the cops and complaining about the fact that the teller only gave me 20s. How you gonna complain that the illegal prostitute that you hired couldn't get the job done? And then my other question is, why are you calling customer service? What are they gonna do? Fix the problem? I mean, really, did Diddy really try to get a refund on a prostitute? But in all seriousness, after watching this trial for 30 days, I'm sitting here totally confused, so I need your help. After watching the trial, do you guys believe that Diddy's gonna walk home, or do you believe that the only place that Diddy's walking is back to jail? Let me know in the comments. Anyhow, last but not least, a while back, Pusha T and Kanye West had a very public falling out. However, recently, Kanye has gone on record saying that he misses his friendship with Pusha T. Now, despite the fact that Ye has extended the olive branch, Pusha T is doubling down and explaining why he feels the need to stay away from Ye.
There's no heartbreak because he is not a person that we ain't the same. We can't, outside of music, we're nothing.
You and Kanye.
Yeah, we can't be anything outside of music. Like, music is where we clicked. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, his principles, his morals, his mindset, we don't see eye to eye hardly ever.
Sure.
Ever. And we never have. I've said it a lot of times. Mm-hmm. We don't.
I saw you smiling, Malice, a little bit.
Because I seen him out there. You know what I'm saying? I know what's going on with him. I watch him. I watch him close. I watch him like my mom would watch him, and to know what's going on. And my brother we come from just loyalty to a fault. If you're my friend, you're my friend. You know what I'm saying? And I just seen him in the mix of people who I don't think reciprocated. I'm talking about, through his career. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, he just looked like a lone wolf out there. You know what I'm saying? But, still holding up his principles and his ethics and standing on business the way he stands on business.
Were you wanting to call him back and say you don't have to be the lone wolf?
No, it's good to be the lone wolf sometimes.
It is good
to be the lone wolf sometimes. Yeah,
everybody knows.
Yeah, it's no
they
sympathy.
can see it. Yeah.
That's how you move out here in this world. You know what I'm saying? If you're a man, that's how you
If
move.
you're a man.
Listen, if
you're a man.
If you're a man.
Only if you're a man though. Because if you ain't a man,
you in trouble.
You can't move like this.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta flip flop and kiss that and do all the, backbiting and
reality TV is mud wrestling. A wise man once said.
Yes, it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. Kidding me?
Now that you guys are back, you guys.
Come on.
Alright, so after Pusha T said that, a whole lot of people had something to say in the comment section. And one person said, Kanye gave you a hit, boy, and then somebody else came through and was like, Ye did a lot for this guy. And then after that, somebody else said, you didn't hear nothing he said, did you? Listen, here's the thing. Some people come in your life for the long haul, and then some people are just seasonal. They're here for a season, they plant some seeds, and then it's time for them to leave. And as an individual, you need to discern which is which. Now, I don't think that anything that Pusha T just said was rude or disrespectful of Kanye, because what he's saying is, as a grown man, at this particular season in my life, my and his morals just don't align, so no, we're not friends. And outside of music, we're not compatible, so I wouldn't look forward to us being friends in the future. I mean, really, I don't see a problem with that. As a matter of fact, tell me something. Do you guys believe that Pusha T owes Kanye some type of loyalty because of their past, or do you respect the fact that Pusha T is saying, I respect the relationship that we had in the past, but now that season's over, and I don't consider him to be a friend because we're no longer on the same page as men? I mean, a lot of people tried to make it seem as if Pusha T was trying to push a little beef, but everything's not beef. Sometimes when you start to grow and mature, and you get older and you start your family, you may not want the dude that's running around in the KKK outfit coming to your house. I mean, for real, I can totally understand where Pusha T is coming from, because yeah, back in the day we was mad tight, we was mad cool, we was friends, but that's when you were rocking a polo shirt and a backpack. Now that you're running around with the leather KKK outfit and you got your wife all out in these streets rocking a birthday suit, I might have to reevaluate this friendship. Because that right there is the definition of we grew apart. Anyway, let me know what you think about everything that we discussed in today's video, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Peace.